Wonderful.
Excellent. Any questions that you have pre-framing before we dive into the actual practice?
Nope, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay,
Yes.
excellent. So I'm going to run through the sequence of points, and we're just going to get to know those points. We're not going to add any intention or any words just yet. And for those of you who are listening from your computer or at a place to grab it, I think, Casey, you mentioned you'll have some of the goodies in the show notes, but
Yes.
if you go to soulsandsynergy.com/fierce planet, listeners can download the handout that explains the tapping points and process that we're going to run through. But we can do it live here. So come into a comfortable seat and take a moment to notice your body in space, because noticing, it's one of the most important things that you can do. And so it might be an act of noticing your feet on the ground. What is it like to relate to this ground that you're sitting with, standing on? What is it like to relate to what you're actually sitting on, your body in a chair or cushion or wherever you find yourself? Just noticing the body here for a moment and taking a full breath, whatever that looks like for you, and noticing, what is the breath like here? Not trying to change it, simply cultivating that sense of curiosity and awareness. And before we actually start tapping, I'm going to invite you to tune into your system and check in, because you will notice shifts. They may be subtle, they may be obvious, and it's good to have a starting point. As you know, from any journey of transformation, it's good to know where you are now. And so take a moment right now as you take another deep breath and notice your feet and your body in space to tune into your physical system. Simply make a note of anything that's coming up for you. You might also tune into your mental space. What's alive for you right there, right now. Tune in briefly to your emotional body. Is there any emotion that is showing up in your system? And it could have been that you brought it into this time together, or it could have been, wow, just in the act of noticing, you realized, oh, there's a little bit of that lodged right here in my being. And then tune in briefly to your spiritual body. Is there anything that's calling to you related to your spirit or the intangible part of yourself? And with another breath, notice your relational body, how you are in connection, whether with other human beings, with your ecosystem at large, your greater community, or your sense of purpose. And simply making a note of all of that. Thank your system for collaborating with you, and bring your attention to your hands right now, keeping the eyes closed. If you feel comfortable listening to my voice, I'm going to cue these points. And again, you'll have the handout later to refer to it, but allowing your full attention to come to your hands and feeling the energy run through the center of the palms and down through the fingertips. I invite you to pick one hand. It doesn't matter which one. And with a full breath, take the fingertips to the top of the head. So the crown of the head is this topmost point. You can imagine 2, 3, or 4 fingers touching this point where a string attached to the ceiling might lift you a little bit higher. Maybe you even notice your body gets a little bit longer simply from that act of awareness. And you can tap here, gently tapping at a rate that feels right to you and a pressure that feels right to you. And then taking a nice full breath and moving the fingertips to the inside of the eyebrow. The inside of the eyebrow is right next to the bridge of the nose on one side. It's where the eyebrow ends and the bridge of the nose starts. So you're tracing the eye bone there. You can bring 2 or 3 fingers to that point. As we go through this first round, I'm going to invite you simply to notice each point. As I said, they're connected to different meridians, so they might bring up different sensations, different emotions, or even thoughts. As you take another breath, let those fingertips move to the side of the eye. The side of the eye is the point at the edge of the eyebrow, still tracing the eye bone, right next to the temple. And as you tune into this point, you might notice that it feels a little different, or it brings up different information from your body compared to the other points. And then tapping underneath the eye, still tracing the eye bone here. This point is directly beneath the pupil. And taking a full breath here and noticing, what is it like to be with this point at this present moment, bringing all your awareness here. And then tapping underneath the nose with a nice full breath. This point is just beneath the nose and above the upper lip. Tuning in with the body, noticing if it's giving you any information right now. And then the fingertips move to the chin crease beneath the lower lip. Taking a full breath here. Our next point is the collarbone point. And if you find the collarbone about an inch or two to the right or left of midline, and then just beneath it, there is an indentation. Some people feel like their fingers find a home there. It's almost like, oh, there's the point. I can find it. My fingers belong there. Again, you can stay with 2 or 3 fingers. Some people like to tuck all 5 fingers in that point, or even tap with the hand across the center of the chest and hit both collarbone points. Tapping is a very fluid process, and there's so many amazing variations, all of which are quite effective. As you take a breath here, notice what this point brings up for you. Some points you might find more calming or comfortable. Other points you might find more tender or evocative. Simply notice anything your system is bringing up for you now. And then we tap underneath the arm. This underarm is about a hand width or 4 inches under the armpit. So if you take the hand and stick it under the armpit, it's about where your pinky would fall, tapping across the body on the other side. Some people actually like to tap on the same side and do more of like a monkey type arm. So other people like to cross over the body and tap on the opposite side. Whatever feels more natural for you, go for it and experience this point for a moment and a nice deep breath. And then we're going to tap here on this side of the hand. This is the fleshy part of the hand right next to the pinky. And take a deep breath and notice this point. Some tapping practitioners like to start at this point. I tend to be a little bit more fluid, jumping in and tapping. I like to start at the top of the head often because it reminds us that we're connected to something more powerful and incomprehensible, something more exciting and interconnected than we can possibly imagine. And so we're going to jump back up to that top of the head point. And this time I'm going to run more quickly through that sequence to help you get the hang of it. So simply listen to my voice, starting at the top of the head here. Nice full breath at each point. And then inside of the eyebrow. And tapping on the side of the eye. And under the eye. And tapping under the nose. And chin crease, remembering to breathe at each point. Collarbone point. The side of the body, under the arm. And side of the hand. Take a nice full breath here and then let both hands relax, keeping the eyes closed just for a moment and tuning in, noticing any information that your system is giving you right now. Listeners can tune into their own space. I'm curious, Casey and Andy, what you're noticing simply from the act of tapping without bringing it any deeper.
Relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
energy flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can feel where I did tap. There's more energy going on there in those spaces.
Yeah.
Almost like a buzz.
Yes.
Type of feeling.
Yeah, and those are quite common side effects or primary effects of tapping. That sense of relaxation, calming, feeling energy flow, feeling the tingling, the movement of our entire system. And that's one reason that tapping can be a really quick. I said 29 seconds to tune in. It can be a very quick way to calm down the nervous system, provide stress relief. So if you're about to enter into a situation or you're switching gears or just feel like, oh, I'm not in my body, I'm a little frazzled, tapping can be a quick way without bringing in any words to calm down the system. And then, as you might imagine, if we then take it deeper, if we work with a specific process or goal or something that's holding us back or a pain, when we come from this place of being tuned in and feeling the energy flow, suddenly it's very quick to repattern what it is that the system has been asking for.